6 years ago, we waved a final goodbye to the beloved cast of The Big Bang Theory. They walked off our screens and into their new lives, leaving behind a show that totally redefined the sitcom for a new generation. For 12 seasons, we welcomed them into our homes, laughed at their nerdy quirks, and watched them grow from a bunch of awkward geniuses into husbands, fathers, and even Nobel Prize winners. The finale felt like the perfect emotional end to an era. But what really happens after the cameras stop rolling? For the cast of The Big Bang Theory, the last 6 years have been a whirlwind of change, a period of transformation that goes way beyond a new haircut or a movie role. Honestly, the changes they've gone through since 2019 are more shocking than you can imagine. Some have shot to new heights, conquering Hollywood in ways nobody saw coming. Others have intentionally stepped away from the spotlight, choosing a quieter life far from the chaos of fame. We're talking huge life changes, secret weddings, new babies, and even quiet struggles that have completely reshaped who they are. Some are almost unrecognizable, not just in how they look, but in the very fabric of their lives. So, what are the stars of The Big Bang Theory really up to in 2025? The answers are going to surprise you. Stick around as we uncover what's become of Sheldon, Penny, Leonard, and the rest of the gang. Let's kick things off with the man who was, for many, the heart of the show, even if his character didn't have one for the longest time. Jim Parsons, our beloved Dr. Sheldon Cooper. When we first met Sheldon, Jim Parsons was a 34-year-old theater actor who was about to become a global superstar. His take on the eccentric, brilliant, and totally clueless theoretical physicist was nothing short of iconic, grabbing him 4 Primetime Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe. He turned what could have been a one-note caricature into a complex, frustrating, and ultimately lovable guy whose journey toward finding his own humanity was the core of the show. Now, in 2025, Jim Parsons is 52. When you look at him today, you see a man who has aged with a quiet grace. That boyish energy he brought to Sheldon has matured into a more thoughtful, settled vibe. But don't let the calm exterior fool you. His story is one of major personal and professional growth, filled with incredible success and some quiet battles. After The Big Bang Theory wrapped, a decision he largely prompted because he was ready to move on, Parsons didn't just disappear. He was smart and picky about what came next. He stayed close to the Big Bang universe as the executive producer and narrator for the hit prequel, Young Sheldon, which finished its 7-season run in 2024. In a move that had fans cheering, he even reappeared on screen as an older Sheldon in the finale, a moment he called the nicest little coda to the whole experience. While he's hinted he's unlikely to play Dr. Cooper again, he wisely says, "Never say never to anything. Life is long, God willing." Professionally, Parsons has made a deliberate return to his first love, the theater. He's been a constant and celebrated presence on Broadway. In 2024, he starred in 2 huge productions, Paula Vogel's Mother play alongside the legendary Jessica Lange, and a revival of the American classic Our Town, where he played the lead role of the stage manager. That role, which ran into January 2025, had him speaking directly to the audience, a testament to his unique ability to connect with people. He's called Our Town the most beautiful play he's ever worked on. His film career has been just as diverse as he's focused on complex dramatic roles that show off his incredible range. He starred in the film adaptation of The Boys in the Band and the heartbreaking drama, spoiler alert, and nabbed another Emmy nomination for the Netflix miniseries, Hollywood. These aren't the choices of someone trying to stay in the sitcom lane. They're the moves of an actor exploring the deeper, more challenging corners of his craft. But his life since the show hasn't been without personal challenges. He's been married to his husband, art director Todd Spiewak, since 2017, and has been a powerful voice for the LGBTQ+ community. but he's also spoken about the private struggles that fame often hides, including the journey of coming out and dealing with family estrangement. In 2025, Jim Parsons is a man who has thoughtfully navigated the tricky waters of post-sitcom fame, choosing substance over celebrity and art over just being everywhere. From the brilliant mind to the girl next door who stole his best friend's heart. What about Penny? Kaylee Cuoco's transformation since she hung up Penny's Cheesecake Factory uniform is probably the most dramatic and public of the whole cast. When she first walked into apartment 4B, she was the relatable, down-to-earth person living across the hall from the scientists, the one who represented all of us watching at home. In 2025, at 39 years old, Kaylee Cuoco isn't just the girl next door anymore. She's a full-blown Hollywood powerhouse. She looks incredible, staying super fit with a routine that includes hot yoga and boxing, but her evolution is so much more than skin deep. She has expertly shed the Penny persona and reinvented herself as a critically acclaimed actress and a seriously smart producer. Her first big move after Big Bang was a huge gamble that paid off like a slot machine jackpot. She started her own company, Yes, Norman Productions, and its first project was the HBO Max series, The Flight Attendant. She didn't just star as the chaotic, self-destructive flight attendant Cassie Bowden, she was the executive producer. The role was a total revelation, showing a depth and vulnerability we'd never seen from her. It smashed any typecasting to pieces and earned her a bunch of Emmy and Golden Globe nominations. The show was a massive hit, proving Cuoco could carry. A dark, complex thriller all on her own, and she hasn't hit the brakes since. She starred with Pete Davidson in the rom-com Meet Cute, led the Peacock true crime comedy based on a true story, and voiced the main character in the super-popular animated series Harley Quinn. In early 2025, it was announced she's starring in a new suspense drama called Vanished, alongside Sam Claflin, with the project set to film in Paris. She's been deliberately picking roles that challenge her, saying she's drawn to more dramatic work even as fans beg her to do more comedy. But her journey has had its own personal plot twists. Cuoco has been open about some of her health issues, including persistent pain she manages with her wellness routines. In a wild turn of events, she found out she was pregnant with her first child just as she was starting to film the action movie. Role play in Germany. She powered through the shoot doing stunts while in her first trimester, which is just incredible. In 2025, she's a mom, balancing a massive career with her family life with her partner, actor Tom Pelphrey. And for fans of that on-screen romance, her friendship with Johnny Galecki is as strong as ever. The two, who secretly dated for 2 years during the show's early days, recently reunited for a hilarious commercial, and their chemistry is still undeniable. Kaylee Cuoco's story is all about ambition, reinvention, and pure grit. So what about the other half of that iconic TV couple, the patient, hopeful, and brilliant Dr. Leonard Hofstadter? If Kaylee Cuoco's career has been a rocket ship to the stars, Johnny Galecki's has been a quiet, deliberate journey back down to earth. His transformation isn't about splashy new roles, it's the story of a man consciously stepping away from the Hollywood machine he was part of for over a decade. When The Big Bang Theory ended, Johnny Galecki, who'd been acting since he was a kid on Roseanne, seemed ready for his next big thing. He was the show's anchor for many fans, the relatable, romantic lead we were all rooting for. But as soon as the final credits rolled in 2019, Galecki basically vanished from our screens. As of 2025, Johnny has almost completely stepped back from acting. His last big role was a guest spot on The Conners back in 2019. Since then, his only real on-screen appearance was that surprise reunion with Kaylee Cuoco for a mobile game commercial in early 2025. And this has been his choice. He said back in 2019 that he wanted to travel, spend time with his family, and focus on his production company. And he's done exactly that. The biggest changes for Galecki have been deeply personal. In late 2019, he welcomed his first son, Orbison, with his then-girlfriend Elena Meyer. The couple split a year later. Then, in a move that caught everyone by surprise, he revealed in a March 2024 interview with Architectural Digest that he had secretly married a woman named Morgan. The article also revealed they had recently welcomed a daughter, Una Evelena. Galecki has been fiercely private about his new life, and this retreat from the public eye says everything about his priorities. He also made a major move, leaving Los Angeles, a city he admitted he never truly felt at home in, and settling down in Nashville. He's been meticulously working on his Gothic-inspired mansion, fully embracing a life far away from the Hollywood hustle. While he hasn't been in front of the camera, he has been working behind the scenes with his production company, Alcove Productions. In 2025, Johnny Galecki is a family man, a producer, and a Nashville resident. He traded scripts and sound stages for a quiet life, a powerful reminder that sometimes real success is having the freedom to just walk away. From the experimental physicist to the aerospace engineer who actually went to space, Simon Helberg's portrayal of Howard Wolowitz was a masterclass in character growth. He started as the cringy, turtleneck-wearing ladies' man and ended up a devoted husband, father, and former astronaut. Howard's journey was huge, and in the years since, Simon Helberg's own life has kind of mirrored that theme, settling into a comfortable, family-focused life while still picking fascinating and quirky projects that speak to him as an artist. Looking at Simon Helberg in 2025, you see a man who has comfortably embraced being a dad. The frantic energy of Howard has been replaced by a more mature, calm demeanor. He's 44 now, and while you'd recognize him instantly, there's a settled quality to him that reflects his life off camera. After the show, Helberg, much like Galecki, took a big step back from the crazy pace of network TV. He's been married to his wife, filmmaker Jocelyn Town, since 2007, and they have 2 kids. Friends say he's happily focused on his family, and it's clear that's his #1 priority. Professionally, Helberg has been super selective, choosing unique and often critically acclaimed projects. He'd already proved his dramatic skills, with a Golden Globe-nominated role in the Meryl Streep film Florence Foster Jenkins. Since 2019, he's continued that trend. He starred in the bizarre and brilliant musical film Annette in 2021, a role he took so seriously that he became a French citizen to get it since his wife is part French. He also appeared in As They Made Us, directed by his former co-star Mayim Bialik, and the film Space Oddity. On TV, he popped up in a memorable role as an FBI agent in the Peacock series Poker Face in 2023. He and Kunal Nayyar, who played his on-screen best friend Raj, are still super close in real life, which is a heartwarming parallel to their characters' friendship. While his work has been more sporadic, it's always been interesting. He seems drawn to projects that are offbeat and artistically fulfilling rather than just chasing another blockbuster. For a bit, there wasn't much news on his next move, but he has a comedy, For Worse, currently in the works, proving he's not done with acting, he's just doing it on his own terms. Simon Helberg in 2025 seems to have found the perfect balance, a dedicated family man first and an artist second. What about Howard's other half, the brilliant but painfully shy astrophysicist, Dr. Rajesh Koothrappali? Kunal Nayyar's portrayal of Raj and his struggle with selective mutism was one of the show's most hilarious running gags. But since leaving Raj and his sweater vests behind, Kunal Nayyar has found his voice in a huge way, building an international career that has shown off his incredible versatility. In 2025, Kunal Nayyar, now 44, has completely reinvented his career. He's ditched the ridiculously hideous wardrobe of his character, especially the cargo pants, for a more sophisticated look. But the biggest change has been in the roles he takes. He has successfully broken out of the comedy box and established himself as a respected dramatic actor, especially in the UK. Born in London and raised in New Delhi, Nayyar has used his global background to his advantage. He starred in the British thriller series Suspicion, and delivered a performance in the Netflix series Criminal UK. That was so chilling it was almost unrecognizable. Playing a convicted serial killer, he earned rave reviews and a BAFTA nomination for Best Supporting Actor, proving he had some serious dramatic chops. He also appeared alongside Adam Sandler in the 2024 sci-fi drama Spaceman. He hasn't totally abandoned his lighter side, though. He's still voicing the glittery character Guy Diamond in the popular Trolls animated movies, and he made a guest appearance on the Night Court revival in 2024, reuniting with his former co-star Melissa Rauch. He said they share a deep love and deep trust, which was great for fans to hear. Nayar's upcoming projects are just as diverse. He's set to play Scrooge in Christmas Karma, a Bollywood-style take on A Christmas Carol, and has several other films in the pipeline. He's also interested in working behind the camera on an animated feature. Personally, he's been married to former Miss India Neha Kapoor since 2011. When asked about a Big Bang spin-off, Nayar said it felt a little too soon, as his focus is clearly on forging a new path for himself. Of course, the original group of 4 guys eventually became a family of 6. The introductions of Bernadette Rostenkowski and Amy Farrah Fowler completed the gang, and in the years since, Mayim Bialik and Melissa Rauch have carved out impressive careers, often working together and with their former castmates. Let's start with Mayim Bialik, who played Sheldon's perfect match, neurobiologist Amy Farrah Fowler. In a classic case of art imitating life, Bialik herself has a PhD in neuroscience. Now 49, Bialik has remained a prominent and sometimes controversial figure, using her unique blend of smarts and talent. After Big Bang, she took the lead in the sitcom Call Me Kat, which was executive produced by Jim Parsons, keeping their creative partnership alive. She also stepped into the massive shoes of Alex Trebek as a co-host of Jeopardy! A high-pressure gig she held until late 2023. She's also moved into directing, writing, and producing the 2022 film As They Made Us, which starred Simon Helberg. Bialik is also very active with her podcast, Mayim Bialik's Breakdown, where she tackles mental health and complex political topics. Her public life hasn't been without controversy, but her journey has been about using her powerful voice, both as an artist and an intellectual. Then there's Melissa Rauch, who played the sweet but surprisingly fierce microbiologist Bernadette. Now 45, Rauch has also had huge success, most notably by reviving a classic sitcom. In 2023, she began starring in and producing the NBC revival of Night Court. The show was a hit, running for 3 seasons before its cancellation in 2025. Rauch made her show a home for Big Bang Theory reunions. Kunal Nayar guest-starred in 2024, and it was announced that Mayim Bialik would also appear in 2025. Rauch has said her former castmates are like her brothers and sisters, and that anyone and everyone is welcome on her show. Together, Mayim and Melissa have become creators and leaders, building on their success to create new opportunities for themselves and their friends. You can't talk about the legacy of the Big Bang Theory in 2025 without mentioning its ever-expanding universe. The show's DNA is alive and well, not just in the careers of its stars, but in a thriving franchise of spin-offs. First came Young Sheldon, which ran for 7 seasons, ending in 2024 with a finale that brought back both Jim Parsons and Mayim Bialik for a touching on-screen conclusion. But the story didn't stop there. In the fall of 2024, a new sequel, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, premiered, following Sheldon's brother and his wife as they navigate life in the 90s. The show was renewed for a 2nd season, set to premiere in the fall of 2025. But the most exciting news for fans of the original is the latest spin-off, which brings a beloved character back to the present day. Get ready for Stewart Fails to Save the Universe. That's right. The lovable, perpetually down-on-his-luck comic book store owner, Stuart Bloom, is getting his own show on Max. Kevin Sussman, who played Stewart in over 80 episodes, is reprising his role in this new sci-fi comedy. The premise sounds wonderfully chaotic. Stewart accidentally breaks a device built by Sheldon and Leonard, triggering a multiverse Armageddon that he, of all people, has to fix. This clever setup allows for endless possibilities, including appearances from alternate universe versions of the original cast. The show, expected in late 2025 or early 2026, is already building an amazing cast. Lauren Lapkus is back as Stewart's girlfriend, Denise, Brian Posehn returns as geologist Bert, and John Ross Bowie is back as Sheldon's nemesis, Barry Kripke. Kevin Sussman himself, now 54, has been busy, with a role in Lessons in Chemistry, and getting married in 2023. But his return as Stewart is a perfect full-circle moment, proving that even 6 years later, the world of The Big Bang Theory is bigger than ever. From Broadway stages to production studios, from quiet family life in Nashville to thrilling international dramas, the cast of The Big Bang Theory has scattered in a dozen different directions. 6 years is a long time, and the people we see today have been shaped by new loves, new challenges, and new ambitions. Jim Parsons has embraced the theater, Kaylee Cuoco has become a Hollywood mogul, Johnny Galecki has found his peace away from the spotlight, Simon Helberg is a family man, Kunal Nayyar is an international star, and Mayim Bialik and Melissa Rauch are running their own shows. Their journeys have been as unique as the characters they played. It's a powerful reminder that the end of one chapter is always the beginning of another, and the bonds they formed on that set clearly remain seen in their continued reunions and support for one another. But now we have to ask you, which transformation surprised you the most? Are you excited to see Stewart try to save the universe? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this look back at one of TV's most iconic casts, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more updates. Thanks for watching.